The first drama was when I wanted to talk about privacy. That was 3 years ago. They didn't like that I spoke about Alexei Pertsev. Remember
Really?
that at first. Like, now it's all fine. The EF funded the
Mm-hmm.
the fundraiser. Like, we're past all of
Follow the
that.
leader stuff.
But like at first,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that the consensus was that he was a money launderer, but it was.
He was
I
a
would say,
spicy character.
yeah, I think people were much more quiet about him and not at all as eager to talk about him or about Tornado Cash.
Yeah.
And definitely not in the Netherlands, where I think there's a high level of trust for authority here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when the Fiat went after him and prosecuted him, people were just like, yeah, money laundering, whatever, Russian, he's going to jail, whatever. So that was the first contentious, I would say, part for me. And the first time dealing with people telling me that I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't speak up for
Yeah.
him, that if I stick my neck out, I'm putting myself at risk, and just weird things like that. So that was the first drama.
This podcast is sponsored by Coin ATM Radar. When buying crypto with cash, an ATM is much more reliable and safer than meeting some random person in a random place. And unlike an exchange, which could freeze your account, you truly own all the crypto you buy. With Coin ATM Radar, you could find crypto ATMs and other services where you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies for cash. On their website, you can search by coin, address, if the ATM supports selling as well as buying, and you can also search by geo area, country, state, city. You can also check and compare actual current fees at different ATMs. If you want to find out more, head over to coinatmradar.com, which is COINATMRADAR.com.
Chat,
That's a very cute, tiny.
It is a cute
Is it
thing.
you? Am I such
Do
a
you know-
boomer?
do you know who-
What? You can put such a small camera?
Do you know who Ken Bozak is?
Yes.
I saw him last year with one of these, and I'm like, what is that?
I want it.
And so now I got it. It works great.
Fantastic.
So, hey, everyone. I have the fantastic pleasure of speaking with the one and only.
Eléonore Blanc.
And,
Alethea.
oh, hi.
This is her first interview, so she
The
might get
coat.
shy.
She's doing a little snarl at me.
Yes.
Well, she doesn't know it's recording.
No.
Probably we're just chatting. She wants that apple, though.
Me.
Yes. And so you're the organizer of this esteemed conference, ETHDam, or whatever it's called right now in the moment.
Yes.
So is this the third edition, or is it the fourth, or what?
So this is the third edition of ETHDam, but the fourth, I would say, like, big conference that I'm organizing in the crypto space.
What was the first one called?
The first one was during DEF Connect Amsterdam in 2022, and they organized ETH Day and DeFi Day. And then from that, the next year we did ETHDam, which was the first conference hackathon, or Confacathon. I want Confacathon. I want that to become a thing. And then this is now the third edition of said Confacathon.
Yes.
And yeah, but it is the last year of ETHDam.
Of the branding.
Of the branding. We're killing the brand. We are rebirth of this phoenix.
Solana Dam.
No, not Solana Dam. CryptoCanal. We're bringing it back to Mothership, which was always the entity behind it all.
Yeah.
But so next year we're calling it CryptoCanal 5. So
CryptoCanal 5?
Yeah.
CC5?
CC5.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I want to make it, because my whole point of this.
Oh, here we go. No, you can't take that. That's not going to work out.
Can I do that?
No.
This whole point is that I realized, like, Confacathons are awesome, and I want to keep that model because I love the mix of feedy people. You're worried about the mic, aren't you?
A little bit, but
It'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine. I don't even know if I don't think there's an off button, really. As long as she doesn't press the side thing. If the sound goes different, then we'll know.
But I love organizing these events. I love mixing the conference side with really cool speakers and very passionate people and very knowledgeable people with another side of extremely knowledgeable people that are hackers and builders, and to have that all under one roof, I think, is really important. But I think with this edition, I'm really inspired to just go even more ham on it, and I want to make crypto libertarian again. I really do.
Yeah, it needs a resurgence.
It really
is that kind of where the privacy hardcore bent has gone over the years back? So. It's kind of interesting.
If anything, I'm just reverting back to be more to our core.
Of course,
so.
rediscovering it.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting how privacy has become a proxy for liberty in crypto. There's many like decentralization is arguably more important.
Yeah,
but it seems like privacy is the proxy for that. Do you see that kind of?
Yeah, because I think we don't have privacy at all in most blockchains,
Yeah.
arguably. I know that there's
Yes. Agree.
various different options,
Mhm.
optional privacy here and there, but you have to really jump through hoops to have privacy right now.
Yeah.
Whereas I think decentralization, people would just assume that we have some form of it,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? The blockchain hasn't gone down
Which
in a
is,
while for that
I
reason.
think, maybe not a good assumption, but it
No,
is the assumption that
yeah,
happens.
we'll keep fighting for both.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about anything.
So have you seen, I do notice this year there was a little bit of public drama on some people who were invited, some political figures. Is
Mm.
this the first time there was like anything related to drama surrounding ETHDam or this conference?
No, the first drama was when I wanted to talk about privacy. That was 3 years ago.
So was
The
that the
f
first one I was at?
yeah, yeah.
And so people
Yeah.
didn't like the privacy?
They didn't like that I spoke about Alexei Pertsev. Remember
Really?
that at first? Like, now it's all fine. The EF funded
Mm-hmm.
the fundraiser, like, we're past all of
Follow the
that.
leader stuff.
But, like, at first,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that the consensus was that he was a money launderer, but it was,
He was
I
a
would say,
spicy character.
yeah, I think people were much more quiet about him and not at all as eager to talk about him or about Tornado Cash.
And,
And definitely not in the Netherlands, where I think there's a high level of trust for authority here.
mm-hmm.
And I think when the Fiat went after him and prosecuted him,
Mm-hmm.
people were just like, yeah, money laundering, whatever, Russian, he's going to jail, whatever. So that was the first contentious, I would say, part for me. And the first time dealing with people telling me that I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't speak up for
Yeah.
him, if I stick my neck out, I'm putting myself at risk, and just weird things like that. So that was the first drama.
I did notice, like, obviously it's a semi-decentralized conference in that there's a lot of stuff going on, so every talk isn't necessarily filled. But I know for Alexei's talk, the room was packed. Everyone was there. And like, I got like a fifth at best as many people as
You
he
need to go
got.
to jail to get that type of audience. I'm
Listen,
sorry. You need to, like,
yeah, it'd be so good for my cred. Well, just like Ross Ulbricht has earned so much money since coming out of prison.
Really? Like,
Like one person gave him like $200,000 worth of Bitcoin.
there
Like
you
right,
go.
not recommending this to anyone. It's not usually good, but it is kind of crazy to see. Do you generally see that the things that we're pivoting towards, is that a trend, or are we still bucking the trend? Is
What
crypto
are we pivoting towards?
in
Just
terms of
privacy?
privacy and sovereignty and liberty in crypto, trying to make
No.
crypto cypherpunk again?
I don't know. I want to believe it.
Yeah.
I want to believe this wave is meaningful and that
Yes.
it's real. But I've also seen a lot of different fads over the years, and I
Of
hope this
course.
is not just one of them.
Yeah, the coin has dog, you know. Um, have you seen, so first of all, um, do you think we could, I'm such a bad interviewer also because at the same time, I just want to
Says the man who does this every week.
yes, but it's true because I'm not professional because I keep on trying to interject my own questions and thoughts into it.
But that's
It's
what
not,
makes it great.
so what can we expect from next year's thing? Obviously, we're in the middle of this one. You deserve a break before you even think about this.
Yeah.
But, well, you must have some ideas other than a larger child by that time to be hanging around with you. What are some other things you would expect it to be different next year?
I don't know. I really need to pause and think.
Mm-hmm.
With becoming a mom this year, it's true that just work hits differently. Priorities are different.
Mm-hmm.
CryptoCanal, ETHDam was my
Mm-hmm.
first child and it's almost 5 years old, I guess.
Yes.
But I want to
Been
pause.
replaced.
Yeah,
There's a new
definitely.
kid on the block.
There's definitely a new kid on the block, and I really want to take this time after this edition to pause and reflect on what I really want.
Mm-hmm.
I do realize that off the top of my head, what I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you is that I want to lean even more into politics.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Ooh. But
Yeah.
whatever that means. But I will not shy away, and I like having different people from different opinions. I don't want to have, I think there's no point in organizing events where everybody agrees with each other, and it's just like, don't get me wrong, I love this sort of everybody's getting along and everybody loves each other and we all have
Yeah.
the same values, and that's so great. And I think it's a big part of these crypto conferences is we get together because we're finally amongst our peers. But I think it's also a point in time where we can challenge ourselves and grow, or also disavow something and say, this is not what we stand for, and this is not something we like. I think both are important and as crucial.
Yes. So 2 last takes. First of all, um, do you this is something I was sort of brainstorming while I should have been asking you a better question was, do you think there's some options where we could start working in crypto's payments a little bit more into the
Yes.
experience, such as say the drinks downstairs, the ones that we're paid for, or some of the after parties and stuff like that to like find a
I would
couple
love
strategic.
that. I know
Okay.
it's so, I hate how un-crypto it is right now. The only thing you can buy with crypto is our hoodie right now, which is ridiculous, but
Well,
it's
and
something.
tickets,
And
right?
the tickets. The
So
tickets and the hoodie, but it's like,
so everything you're selling
yeah,
is for crypto. It's
yeah.
just that, the
It's
rest
just
of
I
the
struggle with onboarding. Basically, if I could onboard this venue, then we could do all of that. But they
yeah.
are not. I
And
think, it's an entity that's, it's a public-private situation. It
yeah.
deals with it's a subsidized area as well, so it's not fully
Hmm.
private. Like, they can't fully decide. I think what goes on here.
Yes.
So then you struggle a bit with that.
Of
But
course. We do our best.
I do my part with it, which is I accept crypto for all of our sponsorships, our tickets, our merch. But then with, I would say, the rest of the world
Hmm.
and the ecosystem here in Amsterdam, yeah.
Could be a little trend. So the last thing then is, and I'll sort of filibuster after to give you some time to think about it. Top 5 or 1 to 5 dream guests for next year, dream speakers. Because obviously this is an impressive lineup, right? We've had a lot of
I
cool
know. I'm
people.
already pinching myself on
We've
what we had
had
now.
we've had like, David Chom was last time. We've had Amir Taki.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alexei Pertsev is the martyr celebrity of this time, unfortunately. We have, of course, all the ragtag libertarians that I managed to get over here.
I
We
love
got
that. I love
so
that.
we got a lot of quality, some big names. If you're just like, who are the top 5 or 1 or
You know who I want to see next year?
yes.
Roger Ver.
I was thinking about that in case he didn't mention. I would love to have
Roger
Roger.
Ver needs. You know what? I was messaging him yesterday. Just telling him that we're preparing the free Roger panel, and
Mm-hmm.
he should be here. He's the only one.
What?
I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's who we're missing out right now.
Yeah.
Our guiding star.
Roger.
Once he gets out of whatever.
Trying to censor the interview.
Are you censoring me? Do
Listen,
you know what RBTC is?
do
I
you-
will teach you everything about the.
Did you formerly work for the Harris administration? What are you doing here? But so Roger, any other big name? That's enough.
No, I
But
think that would be my guest star.
so what
And other ecosystems. So yes, to our ragtag libertarians, like you call them, I love that. But like, also I want to see other ecosystems featured here.
yes,
And
for
I think
sure.
I just don't know those ecosystems well enough myself.
I'll help, of course. I would to sort of answer your question for
I think I was
for
gonna say, I think
myself,
you know who's coming
which I
next
didn't
year.
think I didn't have an answer. I just thought of Roger.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be nice if we had a panel with Roger Ver,
Yeah.
Alexei Pertsev still out by that time, and then Ross Ulbricht,
Sure.
and I'm trying to think of who
I
else.
think I DM'd Ross.
Some other people who have otherwise been in prison or
Yeah,
had
it's a
in
lovely
trouble.
panel.
Yeah, isn't the
People who've
surviving
been-
heroes?
People who've gone through a SEC.
Yeah,
Mark had a slide with them earlier.
People who will have a standing ovation for sure.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Let's have
And-
Ian Freeman. I don't know if that's that. We need to wait a few years for that
Yeah,
one.
maybe that might be tricky, but that would be very good. And any final message for the kids at home, the worldwide, the viewers at home watching around the world? What would you say?
We keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
We keep fighting. There's
Yep.
there's nothing better in this world than to keep fighting for liberty.
Yep.
Not just ours, not just the kids, but for everyone who cannot do this. I do this for everyone who's not here, who cannot talk publicly.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
let's bring more liberty to Europe. Isn't that funny? Like, from Porkfest, these were places I wanted to go. It's Porkfest and Acapulco, Libertacon. These are always places where I was like, oh my God. I'd love to have like people like from Students for Liberty. Like, I don't know, just different entities that fight for liberty coming here. And bringing that spirit here to Europe would be an honor, because Europe needs it.
Yeah.
Europe needs it, and
The whole world needs it for sure.
Yes, but let's spread it. And I'm glad I can be one of those beacons and a point of rallying for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching at home, and thanks whatever AI tool I use to try to make sure the audio is okay on this. Thank you in advance, audio tool, and everyone have a good one. Don't forget to stop fighting for liberty, huh?
Yes.